Welcome to the championships at Wimbledon in a year of anniversaries at the All England Club. 2018 marks 50 years since the beginning of open tennis, along with the 150th anniversary of the club itself. And with preparations now complete, the stage is set for the latest chapter in a magical tale.
Wimbledon is the pinnacle of tennis. The way it represents our sport, the heritage of our sport, the way it preserves that.
So 2 weeks of the year when everybody in Britain talks about and watches tennis.
Every time you just step in the club, you feel it. You see the green colors everywhere with the purple one, the white clothes on the tennis court.
The class of the place, the quality of the place, the tradition of the place.
The charm. You walk into the grounds and everything looks immaculate. There's not a flower out of place.
It's just very special for all of us.
In terms of annual sporting events, I think this is one of the best, and when you talk about history and tradition of the event, I think those are the cornerstones.
The rich heritage of the championships is intrinsically tied to that of the All England Club, whose foundations date back to 1868. In the 150 years since then, Wimbledon has grown from humble origins to become a truly global icon.
What makes Wimbledon so special? I think it's the tradition. I think most players will tell you it's the tradition.
So the story goes that it was originally a croquet club, and that croquet club had run out of money and they needed to buy a new roller for their croquet lawns. And so they thought tennis was a popular sport where they might be able to make a little bit of money to buy a new roller. They had the tennis tournament that's now the championships.
1877, Spencer Gore won the tournament. There's some great stats about it. There were 22 players took part, all of them British. They used 180 tennis balls and 200 spectators took part. The 180 tennis balls is now 54,000 tennis balls. The 200 spectators are now roughly 500,000 spectators come into our grounds each championships, and literally hundreds of millions of spectators watching on television.
People come from far and wide to visit it. It is held in high regard, not only as one of the greatest tennis events in the world, but as actually one of the greatest sporting events that anyone could ever visit. So long may it continue.
One of the major turning points in that 150-year history came in 1968, when the Open era began. The introduction of professionals to the Grand Slams brought the top players back to the historic championships and moved the game on apace.
I feel this is the type of tournament that's going to make tennis such a popular event and become a very big sport in the world of professional sport and, of course, open sports.
If you look at that tournament in 1968, suddenly all the big names who've been lost to the professional game came back.
It changed everything. The fact that the amateurs could start playing with the professionals, people could earn money legitimately, the very best players in the world competing week in, week out. And I think the rest is quite literally history.
Open era starting in tennis is sort of like the BC and AD of tennis history in terms of that's the defining marker, and it really added a lot of credibility and consistency to the majors.
This year, the club welcomes back the two singles champions of 1968, Rod Laver and Billie Jean King. Two greats of the game whose influence is still very much felt today.
Billie Jean King has just been an amazing icon in women's tennis. She is a role model because she stands for everything that's important in tennis. She has been a leader, and she's taught every player to have values and to stand up for themselves.
I think she's a great role model. And Rod Laver is just... there's a lot of debate about who is the greatest player of all time. It's a debate that never can be answered, and everyone's got an opinion on it. I think there's a strong case for Laver to say he won all 4 Grand Slams twice. You could make a strong case that he's the best player ever.
Rod Laver, the prizes and the praise.